Good morning, everybody. I'm running a little bit late. I was trying to figure out what my topic of this morning was, and I felt like God hadn't talked to me at the coffee pot, so I sat out here on my back patio, just kind of breathing in the morning cool air and listening to the birds. And then I decided that I was going to go and check out all the messages and the different comments on yesterday's stuff that I put out on my video and on my article yesterday. And yesterday I wrote an article all on my ego, because anybody who watched Conscious Coffee, good morning, Michael, anybody who watched Conscious Coffee yesterday morning knows that I woke up and I was definitely, my ego had me going a little bit, and I was sharing that with you guys. I was really feeling stressed out and nervous and beating myself up in different ways, and and I know not to overreact and to just kind of like breathe into those moments and just see what comes from it. So one of my commitments in this year has been to be extremely transparent and vulnerable with everybody here, and just quite literally do what I preach and live out loud. Live unbound, live out loud, unapologetic, and let my humanness come out and coach from that place, no matter what that place is, each and every day. So just show up in the capacity that I'm in with my own human shit and revealing who I am and how I get through things day to day, because we all mirror each other, we all touch each other's lives in different ways. And as a coach, what I have learned is that some of the best lessons that I can provide to the people that I'm working with is to actually just share very openly what I'm going through and where I'm at in every single moment. And I just get fantastic results and beautiful connections, and see people process through their shit a lot quicker when I do that, because they see how I'm doing it. So as a coach, it means that I've got to lead. I've got to get my stuff going, and I've just got to lead. So yesterday I was really caught in ego. And this morning, I'm sure that, as long as we're talking, as long as we got air in our lungs, our hearts are breathing, we have ego. So, there's no such thing as an egoless human being. There's no such thing as killing off the ego or overcoming the ego in this lifetime. And I think that anybody who says elsewise is pretty much full of shit, at least for the majority of humans. I'm sure that at some level, if we were to reach that high state of consciousness, which, definitely on a path, but don't know if everybody, or self especially, don't know if self can make it there but at the end of my days. But that high path of consciousness like Christ or Buddha had. And yesterday was really one of those days where I just kept getting caught back into that ego flow. But God assured me throughout the day that, there was so much loving support that was coming in. And I was blessed with just some beautiful, beautiful friends showing up and sharing their hearts and souls and sharing their own stories of crazy that was going on for the year, and just holding space and witnessing for me and allowing me to witness for them. And that was just really, really a beautiful spot to be in, and high emotion and connection and just this revealing of self. So then this morning, I'm making coffee and I'm wondering, what am I going to talk about this morning? What can I share with everybody? And yes, there's these moments here, and that's like, this is a connection piece, right? But I was going through some of the comments of my article that I wrote yesterday, all on God Bless My Ego was the name of the article that I wrote yesterday. And I was, I've been getting comments on multiple streams of social media and my blog, and even people emailing me and everything about different articles that I've recently written. But that one, yesterday, definitely got some exposure and comments. So this morning's topic is really, how do you claim your life? even when you're half awake, right? And I'm not talking about being half awake because it's 6 something in the morning. For at least here in Texas, it's 6 something in the morning. You know, I'm not talking about the awake, the physical awake. I'm talking about being the half conscious, the half awake, the on the road to enlightenment, but nowhere near enlightenment. And just how do you claim your life when you are on this path and you're not Christ, you're not Buddha, you're not, you know, all this different stuff. You're not even the Mother Teresa energy, right? I mean, I'm sure that she would say, oh my gosh, honey, I would nowhere near enlightenment, blah, 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 blah. But we look at these beautiful people that have graced the world through time, and we see their teachings and the things that they've learned and that they shared, and we go, wow, how can anybody be that full of compassion, that full of forgiveness, that full of love, that full of this, that full of that? How did they go about still in the midst of everything, still claiming their life? And you know, when I say claiming your life, because it's a statement that I have all over my website, it's a statement that I use a lot. It's my backup statement to stop existing, start living. Is my next statement is claim your life. Claim your life. And then my next statement would be choose again. So those would be like my top 3 comments that I'm consistently making to people and everywhere. But when I say claim your life, it's, or, you know, claim your life, enjoy that fuck yes life, have this. That fuck yes life, that claiming of your life is not necessarily anything to do with finances or even romance or your health or any one particular piece of your life pie. It is all about claiming who you are and being who you are, showing up, much like my commitment here to you, to my writing, to my videos, to my coaching, is to always show up however I might be, even broken, right? Because I'm human, because I have things going on. So to show up in that state, no matter what it is, if it's full of love and full of compassion and full of joy and full of bliss, and like, you know, I just had a beautiful sexual escapade and all this lovely, awesome, amazing orgasm, then I'm going to show up in that state. If I show up like I have been over the last couple weeks, where I'm revealing like, okay, this shit really happened to me, and I can't believe it happened, and I know that the majority of people out there definitely can't believe, oh my God, that happened to Kendall. And to work through my own stuff and go, you know, yeah, I felt scared to share. I had moments of shame. I had moments of guilt. I had moments of fear. I still have all that stuff rise up here and there, but still showing and revealing and showing up in that, so that you can witness me and I can witness you, and together as a community, as a tribe, as a people who are wanting to wake up and to claim their lives. The best way to claim life, and the reason why I'm doing this topic today, is because a couple people made different comments of how you're talking about claiming your life, you're talking about, you know, having this fuck yes life. How do I achieve this? How do I achieve this when my ego's always grabbing a hold of me? How do I overcome that ego? How do I get from here to there? You're talking about, you know, God bless your ego. Bless the ego. Like, it's that. And I'm going to give you some tips. And if this relates to you, if you're a person that might go, yeah, you know, how do I wake up and continue to wake up and continue to show up for myself and for life and for everybody in my world in the least ego state, and actually become that witness when my ego just has me right there and is not letting go. Its teeth are sunk in, its claws are sunk in. I can feel it. I can taste it. I hear it coming out of my mouth. I hear it, you know, in the back of my head, just going blah, 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 making its noise, making it hard for me to connect, making it hard for me to breathe into life and just experience and embrace and trust that God has my back. Sip of coffee. So how? The biggest thing I would say, and everybody's going to get absolutely sick and tired of me saying this, and you probably already know where I'm going to go, is especially a few people will know this, that my number one words of advice on how do you claim your life, even when the ego has you by the balls and you're half awake, you're not fully conscious, you're not enlightened like Jesus, is to journal that shit out. Journal that shit out. Journal it, journal it, journal it, journal it, journal it, journal it, journal it. I cannot say this enough. I know everybody's like, really? Really? You're telling me to grab a pen and a pad of paper and to journal it? This is how I'm going to work through my ego? This is how I'm going to have the life that I want? Yes. Yes. This is exactly how you're going to do it. And you know how you know that this is actually what you need to do and how your ego is trying to prevent you? Because in this moment, you're probably resisting it. So if you feel resistance towards my comment of journal it, that right there says, oh, the ego's going, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. You don't have the time. That's stupid. It's this, it's that. It's not going to work. Blah, 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 blah. That's what the ego's doing. So what you do is you throw your ego a breadcrumb in this moment. And I really call it this. You just like toss your ego some breadcrumbs, okay? Toss it some breadcrumbs and give it something to chew on. So allow yourself to dip down in a little bit of negative energy, just a smidgen of negative energy, and like be like, yes, she's being stupid right now. That's never going to work, blah, blah, blah. Allow yourself to flip me off. Allow yourself to do this. Allow yourself to do that. That's throwing the ego some crumbs, okay? And then turn the fuck around and pick up your journal and journal that shit out. Plain and simple. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Start journaling. And I really do encourage you to take 2 journals. You need to start every single morning. The first 2 to 3 hours of our day is when we have the most access to being able to change our programs, our patterns, and actually change things up here. Because guess what? Our physical not awake state actually is blocking ego just enough that we can get in there and we can actually plant some new seeds and we can actually do some really great work. So anybody who wants to really make great changes, impact your life by journaling for just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes, positive creation work, much like I have in the Feel Good Now course. That positive creation work of I don't know how, but it just is, or something on that line. Claim your life. Claim it. I claim power in my life. I claim money in my life. I am abundant. I have all the time I need. I am healthy. I have a beautiful support network. I have an incredible relationship. I am orgasmic. I don't care what you're journaling, but do your strong I ams. Give yourself permission in the morning to go be you. I give myself permission to show up fully, authentically in love. I give myself permission to open in love more today than I did yesterday. I give myself permission more today to do blah, 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 blah. Whatever you need to journal, those are the things that you start journaling. I don't know how, but it just is that I am what? I don't know how, but it just is that I have more than enough with plenty left over. I don't know how, but it just is that I have beautiful relationships with my children, I have a beautiful relationship with my partner. I don't know how, but it just is that I heal quickly. Those kinds of statements. So, I don't know how, but it just is. I am. I give myself permission. Get to it. Get journaling. As soon as you're done watching this Conscious Coffee, go journal the fuck out of the life that you want for just 5 minutes. Okay? Just 5 minutes. The next thing is at the end of your day, grab a different journal. And I encourage you to just grab like a spiral notebook or like a composition book, something that you can throw away. Because this is your trash journal. That trash journal is really, really important. What do you do all day? You go through your day and you just build up shit, right? We bring it on. We just like run around and we pack stuff in and we bring it on and we bring it on and we bring it on. And now at the end of the day, we want to have some bitch fest with our friend, or or our friend might be our ego in our head, right? And we're like, and we're picking at all this stuff, and we're looking at everything that we didn't get accomplished, and we're looking at all this different stuff that we shoulda, coulda, woulda done, and how we were this and how we were that, and so did that, and blah, blah, blah. So we do all of that. Well, if you journal in your trash can journal, okay, your garbage journal, whichever you prefer it, quite literally, market that, maybe draw a freaking trash can on it, I don't care. Do something like that. Do not mix your positive creation work with your trash can work in the same book. Keep it separate. Keep it separate. On this one, you've got to keep it separate. Keep that trash can book at the back of your day. Journal your crap out there, and go ahead. And here we are. We're feeding our ego some little nibbles, okay? So we're just giving some breadcrumbs over to the ego at the end of the day, and we're processing it out. We're processing it out. Just let it out. Let it out. Okay? So that's number one. How do you claim your life even when you're half awake? How do you do it? How do you overcome the ego? Number one, don't try to overcome the ego, because it's not going to happen. Okay? Unless you're dead. And I can't speak for that because I'm not dead. Thank God. But if you are breathing, if your heart is beating, if you're expressing yourself, if you are living, or at least existing, we'll just take it that. If you are existing, then your ego is right there thriving right along with you, okay? You may not feel like you're thriving, but your ego's thriving, 100% guaranteed. So just stop trying to resist the ego. Stop trying to run away from the ego. Stop trying to avoid it, get rid of it, kill it off. It's not happening, okay? Number one is that you just wake up and realize that. It's not going to happen. Number two, journal positive stuff in the morning in a positive journal. Journal negative stuff in the evening in a negative journal, okay? Shifting the shit through trash can journaling. Hashtag it works. Yes, it does, Michael. It does. But you've got to follow it up with the positive as well. So the next little step of claiming your life, of really, really getting in there and shifting your shit, as my sweet friend Michael calls it here. If shifting that shit is really to focus in on your gratitudes, okay? So if you're journaling and you get into that process, and everybody knows I preaching this all the time, next to my journaling practice, I always preach a gratitude practice. I do not let my feet hit the ground without saying a couple gratitudes. If my feet hit the ground, like it actually did this morning, because I fell asleep on the couch last night, and then I woke up and I plugged my phone in, and my alarm went off for Conscious Coffee, and it scared the crap out of me, and I woke up and I was on the couch, so I had to dart for the phone. So I legitimately did not get my gratitudes done before my feet hit the ground. But I definitely took a moment's time once I got the alarm off. My very first thought was, alarm off, gratitudes. And so what I did was I went into gratitude mode. So I just dropped 3, 4, 5 gratitudes real quick into the universe, into the cosmos. I'm saying, thank you, God. I am grateful for the opportunities of today. I am grateful for getting a good night's sleep. I am grateful for all this love and support that I have in my life. I am grateful for my tribe. I am grateful for, the abundance that God is always providing. I am grateful that God has my back. That kind of stuff. And then I went off and started making coffee, right? So start your day with a little bit of gratitudes. Journal positive in the morning. End your day with that trash can. Feel free to do more positive journaling too, but the trash can comes at the end of the day because we accumulate through the day, okay? And then before you go to bed, if you make a practice out of doing a gratitude prayer when you get into bed and you lay down and and this is like, we're talking seconds here, people, seconds. I'm not asking you to do a whole lot. It really to transform your life. You can transform your life in quite literally about 7 minutes a day. Okay, so how important is claiming your life? Is it worth 7 minutes of your time during the day, broken up throughout the day? Because that's about all I'm saying, is that 7 minutes can change your life. 7 minutes can transform your life. 7 minutes can get you so much closer to your fuck yes life. 7 minutes can make it where you are claiming your life in every single way. So at the end of the day, do a gratitude prayer. Let yourself fall asleep in gratitude, and that right there is going to absolutely rock your world. You're going to wake up completely different. Everything's going to be so much different if you just take on that practice right there. So really, really focus in and look at that. So gratitude, positive journal, garbage can journal at the end of the day, gratitude prayer to fall asleep. Okay, so there's 2. Next big thing to really focus in on, and I'm not going to give you all of my stuff because that's what the Feel Good Now course is for, but I am going to give you on this that I think a big ticket item here. And this is one that I've talked about on Conscious Coffee a few times. I teach in a lot of different things. I'm always preaching and teaching to my clients about. I know that my VIP clients are just like, oh my God, there she goes again. But this one is actually a really big one, and that is have compassion for yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. The ego doesn't want you to love yourself. The ego wants you to hate on yourself. Much like my article yesterday about God bless my ego. You know, I had a lot of people going, you're going to make it through it. Don't let your ego get to you. And I'm like, you did not finish the article, people. Like, read the whole fucking article. In the whole article, at the end of my article, much like everything, I might start out with something negative, but what does it do? I come down to the lesson. I come down to my realizations. I come down to what I'm actually doing in my practice. So at the end of everything, no matter how much your ego gets you by the balls and holds on to you, at the end of the day, can you actually have love and compassion for yourself? Can you forgive yourself for letting your ego get you? Can you honor yourself enough to just go, yes, I'm human. I'm human. I have an ego. I am only half awake, a quarter awake, a whatever awake, right? That's just what it is. So allow yourself that compassion. Allow yourself the compassion that you too are just human. If you had a best friend, if your sister, your brother, your partner, your best friend, your child came to you with the frustrations that you might be experiencing right now, came to you with those ego comments and was like, I just, like they're sharing it with you and they're needing support, they're needing advice. What would you tell that person that you love? Would you say, oh, fuck, you just, like you really messed that one up. Oh my goodness, you should just like really, if I was you, I would shut that shit down. I wouldn't talk about it. I think that you need to go and like really, really beat yourself up over this because that was totally your fault. You did this, you did that. Would you really do that to somebody that you love? Probably not. Probably not. You would probably sit there and you would probably hold space for that person and you would just go, it's going to be okay. You got this. You're an amazing person. You're so big-hearted. You have a beautiful mind, a beautiful heart. Look at all the people that you touch. Look at this. You're fantastic at your job. You're an incredible parent. Whatever that person is needing here, right? You would support their power, not their weakness. So why are you doing anything less for yourself? Why are you doing anything less for yourself? Why are you leaning in on supporting your weakness, your miscommunications with yourself, your wrong beliefs about yourself? Why are you supporting that for yourself when you wouldn't do that for your friend, for your child, for your brother, your sister, colleague at work? If you would hold that space for somebody else, if you could show that compassion to somebody else, take those words that you would share with them and dish them back to yourself. Have compassion. Realize that you are only human and it is okay, and that's not going to change because guess what? You're human. You're human. You're human. Okay? So much like everything else, just realize that that compassion for self is what's really, really needed here. Okay? And that is, I think, one of the biggest things that we are constantly trying to tackle ourselves. We're constantly trying to, like a lot of the comments, how do I overcome the ego? How do I claim that? How do I do this before my ego eats away at me? Because I see my ego eating away at me every single day. Yep, and it's going to continue to eat away at you every single day. That's just the way it is. Our egos are there trying to, well, my camera just went into something like all wonky. I don't know. Oh well. Hopefully it'll unblur here. So, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I have maybe my angel's in front of me, blur and everything. I don't know. No. But that's really weird, isn't it? I was like, I don't know what's going on. Okay. What was I saying? Moments. Okay, so so the ego, yes, the ego. Oh, there we go. The ego blocks, much like this blur out moment here with Facebook. That's exactly what the ego is consistently going to do to us. It's going to try to blur us. It's going to try to put a veil between us and our reality. Okay, so us and our reality, and it's really just really stepping into that realization that we're not getting rid of our ego. There is no way for us to get rid of the ego. It's going to be with us. We're awake. And I mean physically awake. Therefore the ego's there, okay? And having compassion for self and allowing ourselves the ability to just go, okay, yeah, the ego's here, is how you move through it, is how you start to, instead of getting pissed off that the ego's there, instead of getting upset and concerned that you feel like your ego has you by the balls, as I've been saying today, actually go, wow, this is my opportunity to witness the ego, right? I'm witnessing the ego. I see my ego. I'm experiencing my ego. I'm feeling my ego. I've got this going on. Yay me. Yay me. I can see my ego because I'm feeling it. Because, oh my God, I can't believe this stuff is coming through my mouth. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that I just acted like this. I can't believe this trash can thoughts that I got going on in my head. This is all shit that's spewing out of me. That's your witness point. When you see that stuff, when you experience that stuff, instead of getting pissed off about it, realize that's the witness point. This is your power point. This is where you make your stand. This is where you go, holy fuck, I now see my ego. Because unless you see your weak ego and you can actually step in and go, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you, then anything up until that point, the ego really does have you by the balls. As soon as you witness your ego, as soon as you become consciously aware of this is all my ego, you are now in the power position of your life. You now are witnessing and seeing how the ego is trying to act. Until you can actually recognize what is ego, until you can get to that space, then you have problems, okay? Because it's all about awareness, okay? It's all about awareness. I use the word consciousness. It's just another word for awareness. I use the word being awake, right? Another word, consciousness, awareness. Enlightenment would be right on the same path. To be enlightened does not mean that you are all of a sudden going to levitate up into the heavens. Enlightenment means that you are aware, that you are open, that you are more able to see your truth and to witness where your ego is at and where your spirit is at, and to get into alignment quicker. So to overcome that ego-based thinking and to really see it is to be able to witness it. And the practices I've already given you about, like the journaling, those 2 types of journaling, about doing gratitude, all that stuff is to bring you into a state of alignment to your core, to yourself, to your soul, to God, okay? So to do this internal work, and that right there is going to help you to definitely be able to witness where your ego's at a hell of a lot quicker, which means that you're not going to have, the ego won't have you by the balls anymore. You're going to be able to make more conscious decisions, but with that, realize the ego's right there. The ego is like attached to your hip. It's going with you no matter what. It does not matter. That's just the way it is. So it's just going to be there. Throw out some breadcrumbs. And don't feel bad about throwing out breadcrumbs. Okay? And that means, when I say breadcrumbs, that means that you're tossing some stuff over to it here and there. You allow yourself to have those moments to go ahead and dip down. Dip down, go, blah, 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 blah. Have your little negative rant. Allow yourself in your journal to rant it out. These are all going to help with the breadcrumbs over to the ego, and let yourself process it out, and then hold that space for yourself. Have compassion for yourself. Forgive yourself for having an ego. Oh my goodness, you're human. Forgive yourself for being human, okay? You're going to make mistakes. The ego's going to get you. Just allow yourself to be human. And learn to laugh at those little moments even. Like, find some humor. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I did this. I can't believe that. Find something in there that you can just kind of just recognize it for what it is, and it is just being human. And you're expanding, you're growing, you're learning, you're learning how to witness, you're coming into your consciousness, into yourself, and you're doing it at the perfect speed. You're doing it at the perfect speed for you. So comparison would be another one. Stop comparing. Stop comparing. There is only you. You're the only one that's perfect, just like you are, and just witnessing that that's true. And God really does have your back. Really, really, truly. God does have your back. The universe has your back. Everything is always moving forward. We live in a yes verse. That's why it's so important to create those things on the front end of your day and to get into that state of gratitude, because we live in a yes verse. So be careful what you're asking for, right? If you're asking for the negative, well, then you're going to get yes to that. If you're asking for the positive, then you're going to get yes to that. So be cautious about your wording on things, because, if you say, I wish I had enough money. I want to make more money. Well, or if you say, I never have enough. I live paycheck to paycheck. When you claim this, I live paycheck to paycheck. What are you saying? That statement right there, and I hear it so often. I live paycheck to paycheck. This is how much money I made. Da 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 da. All right. So if it's not what you want, if it's not something that you want, then stop talking about it. It's quite literally, stop talking about it. Just don't talk about it. Take those words out of your mouth until you get what you want. And for goodness sakes, definitely don't say, I live paycheck to paycheck, because that right there, when you get really buy into that, I can say it 50,000 times, because I don't live paycheck to paycheck. I don't. I have, I'm constantly telling myself I have more than enough with plenty left over. Money flows to me with ease and effortlessness. I don't know how it is, but it just is that everything is always provided for, and then some. I have more than enough time to do everything, to do all the important things. So I'm just these are the things that I've been working on, that I'm preaching to myself, so that changes my thoughts. So I can say I live paycheck to paycheck all damn day long. Number one, I don't get a paycheck. I work for myself. So right there, my whole psyche is going, dude, you don't even get a paycheck. You don't work for corporate America. But if you do work for corporate America and you live paycheck to paycheck, stop claiming it. Stop claiming it. Just plain and simple. Just stop. Put that shit down. Stop claiming it. Okay? Whatever those statements are, and I do kind of encourage you to take your trash can journal today or tomorrow and to write down those statements that you find yourself saying. What are those statements? Because guess what? A core belief is nothing more than a practiced thought. So change your practiced thought and your core belief is going to change, okay? And yes, there you go. I've just simplified everything for you. I've given you all the answers that you ever need to know. You don't need to do anything other than this. Everything will shift and change for you if you just change your thoughts. But that's easier said than done, right? It's easier said than done. But here is the reality, is that if if you want to know why things are showing up in your life, if you want to know how the ego is getting you, start looking at what those thoughts are that you consistently think. So if it's, I live paycheck to paycheck, well, write that down in your garbage can journal, okay? And go, okay, and then write down the other 10, 15, 20, 50 million thoughts that you're preaching to yourself every single day that is actually providing the life that you have that you may not want, okay? And the positive things, what are those positive things that you're telling yourself, you know? What is it? And what are those things? Write those down in your positive journal and just kind of like look at those. Those should be your power statements. The good things need to be your power statements. I am abundant. I have more than enough with plenty left over. And yes, I preach that one all the time because I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about time. I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about love. I'm talking about resources. I'm talking about everything there. So what do you want? What do you want to claim? What do you want to have in your life? Who do you want to be? How do you get it? This is how you do it. This is how you do it. You do it day by day, moment by moment. Take this little, just 7 minutes, right? Isn't that what I said? You can claim your life in 7 minutes a day. You can rock your world in 7 minutes a day. You can change your whole life outcome. You can completely direct and guide your life in 7 minutes a day. And it's not even 7 solid minutes. It is quite literally probably like 3.5 minutes in the morning and 3.5 minutes in the evening. And just doing that and then staying consistent to being the witness to your ego. So just become the witness, because the more you become the witness, the more you can actually make those changes. You can catch your ego at work by witnessing it. And once you do that, you gain the power position. Because until you can see it, you don't know where it's at. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know what's going on. Therefore, it runs your life. So if you don't want your ego running your life, if you don't want it to grab you by the balls anymore and just hold on fiercely right there, right, and totally mess up your world, and you don't want to feel like you're being a victim to your ego, recognize where it's at consistently and get ready for quite a journey with your ego there, because the ego is going to rise up, nip you in ankles, and just basically rub all in down. Like yesterday, I think my article I was talking about, like I felt like I was like in a dance club or something, and my ego was like rubbing its booty all over me, like a horny person, right, and just like totally sliding all over me, because I was recognizing that my ego was there, and it was seducing me in so many different ways, and it was trying to scare me, and it was trying to do this, and it was trying to do that, and it really was like the drunk person that you can't get rid of, that's just all up and in your business, and you're just like, whoa man, like this is not space, right? 3-foot rule, please. It needs to be applied right now. Well, your ego doesn't give a shit about a 3-foot rule. Your ego is going to do exactly that. It's going to be that drunk person that has no fucking clue about personal space. So, get very aware of that. But here's the thing: you're already dancing with your ego. It's already there. Just become aware of it and recognize it, and that right there is going to get it to just at least go, well, shit, they're on to me. And your ego's going to have to try to figure another way out to come up and rise up and get to you. And as long as the more awareness you apply to it, the harder it's going to be for the ego. And don't forget to throw it some crumbs, because otherwise you're going to end up with a ravenous beast over there that's hungry, and that's where trouble comes in. So don't let that happen either. So make sure that you toss it some crumbs, okay? Just give it a little bit of crumbs here and there, so that it's like, okay, yay, and then move on with your life. So okay, guys, definitely check out the Feel Good Now course, because everything that I've preached here this morning is definitely in there, plus 10,000 other things. Maybe not 10,000, but the core things are in there, and all the different stuff that I also have just around this. There's a beautiful meditation in there to help you really access different things and to really tap into this space, because at the end of the day, it really does come down to, how do you feel? How do you feel? How are you shifting your shit, as my friend Michael says, right? How are you shifting your shit? How are you getting through it? All that good stuff. And really just try to access that Feel Good Now course and get in there and change your feeling about yourself, about your day. Practice the things that I've shared here, and anything else that you might come up with. So access that. Let me see. Anything else? I'm going to do announcements later today, so I'll just do a little announcement video later. I'm not going to make a bunch of announcements here on Conscious Coffee. I'm going to keep this one just Conscious Coffee this morning. So I hope that everybody has an absolutely fucking amazing day, and go have an amazing week. I will catch you guys tomorrow around 6 a.m. in the morning with whatever topic God blesses me with, of course. And as always, stop existing and start living. Bye, guys.